From Tobacco Republic in Loomis, California, the Loomis Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Greg and Larry and Camera Gorilla here. You notice we're missing one. Yeah, that's because he's ill. And Scott, we wish you the best of luck, but you ain't here.
And if not, we know how to get in your humidor. So.
Yeah, pretty much. And your wife will let us too. So, hey, just to jump into everything real quick, we got a great show for you today. We've got Cher and Tyson. They are from a company called Cigar. So let's bring them on board and get this show started. Welcome, guys.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm great.
Good.
How's it in a free state?
Well,
calling us from America.
Pretty good over here.
Outside, beautiful morning, about 50 degrees after a rainstorm all night last night. Clouds in the sky, sun's out. Can't ask for much more than the beautiful cigar on the patio.
Very nice.
Hey, can you send us a little bit of that rain, man?
Coming in hot right now.
Yeah, there we go.
We needed it too. We've had so many fires and stuff going on that this is good. This is what we've been needing.
It's like half the country's on fire right now, it feels like.
I know. It's wild.
At least the western half.
Yeah. So, met Cher at PCA this year when we were out, walking around, being goofy and doing what we do. And they have an interesting product. And it's never something that I've really been on board with before. I mean, I've seen different ones. There's guys, that make, little handmade ones, and they're all kind of bulky and goofy. And what this is a tip for your cigar.
Yes.
And and I don't know why I haven't been gravitated more towards something like this with the extreme amount of facial hair that I have. It's probably a good thing, because even if some cigars you just want to smoke all the way down as far as you can get them, and even with a pick and this, not necessarily a great combination. But with this little device, this thing is super cool. I got to admit, I gave her kind of a hard time at PCA, and she gave it right back to me. Tyson, she was throwing out some pretty good punches, man. She's no joke.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I could see where that'd be kind of rough on the daily, man.
That's why I'm tough as hell now.
Nothing like a little fire under your butt,
There you go. No, it was you put me in
a little
check.
fire.
You gotta bring the heat sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, put me in check a little bit there. That was cool. All right, so tell us about what this is, why you did it, how you got started. I mean, give us a history, man.
I would say that the history on it is we have a business partner, Mark, who's actually out of town right now, and he created the product being a avid cigar smoker about last October. Had a concept, an idea, came to me with the idea and said, hey, do you want to take our resources we have on our side, our network of people, our sales, everything across the board, and said, do you want to jump on board? Now, me personally being a casual cigar smoker at that point in time, didn't grasp the concept right away. And I think that's the case with everybody when they originally see this, is they think they have an idea what it is until they use it. Fast forward to where we are now. We debut at PCA earlier this year, and the outpour from the people that stopped by, and we got to put the piece in their hands and let them try it, has been overwhelming, because people, the cigar space is so known for just not, as far as not change. This is just how you do it. You smoke the cigar, you might gnaw on it, but you just smoke it the way that it is. Of course, they have the pokers and other things out there. But when you created this piece called the Ciccar, it was to smoke the whole damn thing. That's where it started. And now we've got 70 some use cases, and I'll let Cher talk a little bit more about, where it's transitioned from there.
I think originally the idea behind it was, using the pokers, the, roach clip looking things, everything else that everybody does, just burning your fingertip. It's almost November. You got to save that. You got beautiful beard and stash you got, But really, I think in the production of it and beta test, we realized it has so many more utilities and benefits than we originally were thinking. Because specifically the way that these are designed, I mean, they're tapered on the inside. So as you can see, this one actually goes down to about a 40 gauge to a 54, depending on. So they're tapered on the inside. But there is, as you'll notice, depending on your cigar, there's a little air gap between your end of the mouthpiece and the end of your cigar. So one of the cool things about it is that it actually allows more oxygen to flow through your cigar. So what that in turn does is it cools that draw and makes it smoother, which is one of my favorite features of it, right? So depending on, a really full-bodied cigar and things, this really smooths out the draw for me. In addition, because what was it, the Master Rollers of PCA, we also just went to Intertabac in Germany, which we got a huge response there. So that was phenomenal. But from one of the Master Rollers at PCA that came over, I mean, he smokes the same 2 cigars like he has every day for 20-something years. And so they were kind of testing the draw and the flavor profile and seeing if it changed anything in the cigar. And he said it actually opened up that flavor profile even more than what he would normally get out of the same cigar that he smokes all the time. So, as far as, you can smoke it all the way down. That's one of the main benefits, right? But depending on my cigar, some people, it's personal preference. Like, I don't always start with it on. Sometimes I wait till I get right around where I take off my band and then I'll put the Ciccar on. Really depends. It's personal preference. Some of our, I think, bigger advocates now, it's been interesting because the hardest ones to kind of, get to adapt it are some of the older, set in their ways cigar guys, right? Like, this industry's been the same for so many years, and just like technology and everything else, it's like shaking up the industry, right? Providing something new to the game. They're kind of like, what is this? I don't want gadgets or gimmicks or little something else to carry or whatever.
Yeah, that's it right there. Something else to carry. Hey, I want to go back real quick on something you just said. The Master Roller. Did he feel that he was getting a better flavor profile because of the additional oxygen? What did he attribute that to, or what do you attribute that to?
When he walked up to us, because we were so slammed at the booth, and he was so kind too. He just waited in line, and of course we're getting ready to pitch the guy, and the guy just literally walked up and said, as she stated, I have to tell you guys what I do, how long I've been in the industry, how many cigars I smoke. And he was so excited to tell us that because of, you can get about a 10 to 20% more draw, that it was opening up a flavor profile from the cigar that he'd never tasted before. And for him to say that on the 2 cigars that he smokes daily and has for the past 15, 20 years, that was huge for us to hear somebody that, again, was skeptical.
Yeah, I noticed right away on this. I've got one of the new Christophs, a guardrail in this.
Nice.
And that was a question that I was going to ask you too, was, is there a preference as far as the piece is concerned when you put the cigar in there? I started out with I lit this at the house and drove down here. And I didn't put the piece on until right before, we reached out, and got things going. So I'd smoked the cigar for maybe 15, 20 minutes before I put it on there. And I've tried a couple other things. There used to be a guy that hung out in this lounge that used to make his own little tips. And this thing, I mean, the cigar's in there. There's no problem. It's holding it. Everything's good. And this is the first one of these I've ever tried that the cigar didn't fall out in your lap.
I'm amen to that one, because that was my concern originally, because we got a tip from elsewhere and I tried using it on the show and the cigar ended up on my lap on the show. So I'm like, but these are great. I'm of the camp where I put mine on as soon as I cut and get ready to light. So, I smoke all the way through it.
Well, and I smoke a cigar virtually every morning. But where I get kind of goofed up sometimes with, depending on what I'm doing, if I've got something going on at the shop that's super hands-on, then I'm tending to hold that cigar, in my mouth like Winston Churchill the whole time.
Yeah.
And it has a tendency to beat up the end of the cigar. You know, you're gnawing on it or it gets too wet. I have not tried this yet on my morning cigar at work, but definitely Monday morning, this thing's going to be on my first cigar, and I'm really interested. Like I did that yesterday. I goofed up a cigar. I ended up putting it down with probably a third of the stick left because it was just too wet to draw through anymore.
Yeah.
I hadn't paid enough attention to smoke, and I was paying more attention to work, and I screwed the cigar up. So I think this is the ultimate preventer of that, and I'm really looking forward to putting this to use in that aspect right there.
Yeah, Greg, I mean, you bring up a really good point, not only for the reasons that you just said, but, you ever get a bad cut or a split up the side at the bottom of your cigar. Well, you still want the cigar. You try to, manipulate it or whatever you can to keep being able to smoke it. But the cigar actually seals it. So once you put it in there, it'll seal that and allow you to keep smoking it. So it does prevent you from potentially having to throw out a cigar.
Yeah. And the ridiculous dance when that does happen of, licking the end of it over and over again.
Yep.
and holding your fingers in the right position or whatever just screwed up, fucked up bullshit you can think of.
Oh yeah,
Just the way
that's
it
a
is.
good look when you're in the lounge with 10 other people.
Yeah, licking it. Yeah, licking it.
You
And
got the cow tongue thing going on, and people are looking at you like, "What the hell are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just working on this." Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
You
Well,
sit in the back.
Well, since we're on to cigar, what we're actually smoking and what we're using these tips on, start with Cher and Tyson. What are you guys smoking this morning?
right now, I'm smoking the Apostate number 3. So they're a newer cigar. I think they're 2019 or 20 something around there. But it's an Ecuadorian. It was recommended to me by Ryan. This guy Ryan at one of the cigar lounges. He's like, it's really good with your morning coffee. And this is the first time I've ever had it, actually. So I was like, sure, I'm doing this podcast. I'll give it a shot. I actually really enjoy it. It's a Ecuadorian wrapper, and then it's got Mexican, Dominican, and I think something else, the tobacco mix.
Right. That's the initiatory, right?
Yeah, the initiatory.
Yep.
Lovely.
Yeah, we're super familiar with those guys. As a matter of fact, Greg,
It's
what are you
great.
smoking?
Matter of fact, I have the Deseret, so I have.
Oh, you do?
The first one.
Okay. Yeah. It's
lovely.
they're actually great. I really like it.
Yeah.
And it does go well with coffee.
They did precede you on the show. They were with us a month and a half ago.
Yeah. Tyson, what are you smoking, man?
Vintage 1999.
Oh, there we go.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a solid choice.
It is. It is for me. I'm kind of the mild medium in the mornings, and when I do smoke cigar, which is about when I do the morning smokes like this, it is on a weekend. Outside of this, I'm in the auction business and do a lot of fast talking. So having my voice, it's actually usually a Sunday cigar for me, right before I watch football and things. So today I'm switching it up before college football. Okay, so
Nice.
that's what I like, and it's just a smooth cigar. It's good for me, and like I said, it's a 50 gauge, about 5.5, 5.5. Good solid hour smoke for me, and it kicks my day off. And I'm happy.
Awesome. Now, you said earlier you were a casual cigar smoker when you started with this cigar. Now, would you say you're still a casual smoker, or are you moving that up a peg or two?
Well, it has to go up a peg or two, because when we're forced to now, right? It was, and when I say forced, well, I'm not upset about it. I guess I didn't realize at that point in time. You can reference this to like wine. You got the casual wine drinker that doesn't care; they just want a red wine. A sommelier who wants the blend from 97 that can tell what vine it came off of and what valley it came from. You can learn so much in this cigar space, which you start hanging out with these people who just have so much knowledge. And when you're showing off the Ciccar piece to people, I mean, that's what cigar smoking is all about. You sit down, you're going to enjoy it for an hour to an hour and a half, and you get in these conversations with people.
Absolutely.
And there's just a knowledge of wealth from people that now I've tried a plethora of cigars that, to me, I didn't know in the very beginning. When I say casual, I'm talking 1 or 2 a month. Now I'm probably 1 to 3 a week, which I never thought that I would be there. But again, I'm not even mad about it at all.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing that happened to us doing this thing. you know, I mean, Scott and Greg and I have always been, you know, we've been cigar guys for a long time, but it kind of just moved that experience up, you know, and going to stuff like Rocky Mountain up in Denver, and then now that we're part of PCA and being able to come and see the newest, latest, and greatest, you know, that the PCA show just was overwhelming.
Oh, it was amazing though.
I
Yeah, it's a
mean,
lot.
just overwhelming. You know, 3 days we couldn't see everybody.
Nope.
You know, and it was.
Oh yeah.
We ran into some great people, and got to see some cool products, some cool, you know, new cigars, some awesome stuff. So yeah, it's you know, eventually I think we would have found Apostate, you know, at some point, because that is a great line and they are growing. But the fact that we were able to, you know, meet those guys, and get that jumped off, and now they carry Apostate here in our local brick and mortar. So, you know,
They're great. It's my first one, like I said, and it's a great cigar.
I don't know how you feel about Candelas, but their fourth release was a Candela. It's called the Feathered Serpent.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
It's different than any Candela you've ever smoked. Definitely if you see one when you're out traveling around at a brick and mortar, it's definitely a purchase that, you know, hey, you know, sit down and try it with a cup of coffee. You know, you may or may not like it, but it's one of those that it's a good blend, it's a good stick, and if it's in your wheelhouse, you know, you're definitely gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the great thing about going to these events. Like PCA was, I mean, off the charts. Like you guys said, there's way too much there to make it through. And then the Inner Tobacco Show in Germany that we just went to, I mean, it's the largest international tobacco trade show in the world. And so it was PCA even on steroids, but from different parts of the globe, right? So there's a lot of cigars companies there that we got the opportunity to try, and people we got to meet, that cigars aren't even carried in the U.S. So that was interesting too, just to try them, right? So that's the great thing about Ciccar. You start talking to them about our piece, and naturally, a lot of these, you know, cigar manufacturer stuff, they're like, try this. You know, they're excited about their newest cigar or whatever, and you get the opportunity to sit down and try it with these guys and learn about the cigar and where they came from and their company. And really, that's just how my knowledge base is starting to blossom. Truly, I mean, you learn so much from other people in this industry, just like podcasts like you guys have and everything else, bringing the right people on and educating them about their products.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's I didn't realize that was your debut. Was it PCA that you guys were that new to the industry? And that's awesome.
I'm in the same boat. The way you pulled off the interview and did all the talking, I was like, you guys have been doing this forever.
Yeah, I assumed that it was that you guys were long time, established, and that we just hadn't seen you before, hadn't run across it. So yeah, that was awesome. And
well, good.
and the fact that it's taken off so well and so fast, I mean, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, it's been good. It's a journey, just like anything else that you start, right? Huge learning curve, you know, new industry. I mean, by trade, this is none of our like main business or something that we've been doing our entire lives as far as in this industry. So, you know, you're diving in, but luckily I think it's such a big, small industry, and the people are very receptive and helpful, and, you know, on social and things like that, as far as sharing and educating, like people are so great in this industry that it actually makes it a lot of fun.
And we've talked about this with a ton of people on podcasts and stuff. That's I think the unique thing about cigar industry is it's still so close knit, and, you know, people, they want to help each other. You know, the manufacturers want to help each other. The vendors that have, you know, accessory items, everybody's just still really cool in this industry. Now I got the box right here with all the that everything comes in. It's got the extra silicone tips, cleaning brush, little case to put your tip in, and Camera Gorilla will get some cool close-up shots of this stuff so we can get it up on our social media and tag you guys in it.
Yeah.
Now, are you selling these online, or tell us how can one of our listeners get a hold of one of these?
Yeah, I think the easiest way is just go to cicarlife.com.
Okay.
That's the easiest way. And yes, we're selling it online. One piece, or there's couple pieces that don't actually come in your box. So as you showed, of course we brought one out here too as well. We wanted the presentation to look good, because not only is it good for somebody to buy something and see the value and the quality of what it is, but in this space specifically, I think we get a lot of, there's a lot of females who don't smoke, but they know that males in their life do. Fathers, husbands, brothers, in-laws. And when they go into a cigar store and they want to get them a gift, birthday, anniversary, wedding, it doesn't matter. It's always like, I don't know what he smokes. What do you like? And it could be the wrong cigar for the wrong person.
Absolutely.
For us, this came out as a great idea for a gift, because when you're smoking the whole damn thing, all right, a lot of people, like myself prior to this, I would throw away that last third or last quarter of the cigar every time for numerous reasons. Not on the end, it got too wet, or because I had bitten through it, or because I cut it wrong and it split up the side. Multiple reasons why I wouldn't finish it. But at the end of the day, if I'm smoking a $15, $20 stick, I'm wasting $3 to $5 every single time. And so now when you're able to smoke the whole damn thing, you're actually able to get the value out of the cigar, where a lot of cigars actually, as you're smoking them down, the flavor does change. It's different from the beginning than it is in the middle, and then it is and it is towards the end. And so I think it's a big help in educating people. And you can't go wrong when you get somebody this gift. The one thing we don't have in there, though, that I think is the biggest thing, and I think you'll appreciate this at work, is you guys get the magnet ring that goes on the Ciccar piece.
Yep.
Yeah, and I didn't bring that with me. And a matter of fact, I got to look around and see where I put that.
It's at the box of 3 is still at my house.
The magnet rings?
Yeah, I need to bring them to you.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, especially like if you, I don't know, like if you were mentioning smoking your cigar on the way to the office or to the studio this morning, like with a magnet ring, one of our guys, he just sticks it outside his window, like right on the edge of his anything. I mean, honestly, it's huge within our golf community, our golfers, because we golf.
That's right. You said that. Yeah, that's right. I remember that now.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that.
We're throwing it down on the tee box, man, and
losing your cigar,
and be able to keep it vertical to where it gets that even burn all the way around. This because mine's sitting in a stand right now. Even with the car piece, it'll stand up by itself.
Yeah, and then we have the stands. Yeah. So you just go like this.
Yeah, the stand. You brought me a stand, didn't you, Greg?
Yeah, you need a magnetic piece too.
Well, it was the stand. I don't know what it was in its own little separate box, huh?
Yep.
Oh shit, no telling where that is. All right.
Because like you're sitting in that nice chair, right? And it has big arms on it. So instead of leaning over all the time, or if you want to be hands free for a second, you can literally just stand right there on the edge, the arm of that chair, and then just sit your cigar in it. So it makes it pretty convenient. But yeah, the magnet accessory piece is.
Well, I'm going to tilt the screen down just so you can see this real quick. All right. So both of ours, but if you go to the edge of the table here, that's just magnetized right to the edge of the table.
Oh, awesome.
So people, again, golfers who want to just put it to the side of their golf cart and keep it vertical. When you're at work, you don't have a place to set it down. Anything magnetized straight up and down. There's so many utility pieces with magnet that people, and driving down the road.
Construction workers too, like that smoke cigars, they use the magnet all the time. They're out in the field doing whatever.
Cornhole enthusiasts, anybody outdoors. This has changed the game, because you no longer have to just like gnaw on it to keep it in your mouth. How about the one guy? This awkwardly weird.
This is a PCA. So this guy, I sold him a car kit, and he got the magnets and everything. And then I get a text message from him while we're at PCA, and he says, "Hey, I'm in the bathroom. I'm going to send you a picture." And I was like, "What the shit?" I don't really need your bathroom pic. I don't know what I'm about to get. Well, anyways, he sends me a picture of his car. He has a magnetic ring on it, stuck to a little metal piece, in the bathroom, so he can be hands-free while he goes to the bathroom. And he's like, I was at the end of this really good cigar that I got from this guy at PCA. And, you know, if you're holding it in your mouth, you're getting smoked out while you're trying to pee or do whatever. And he's like, this is great. And I was like, well, I never even thought about that as being like, you know, a benefit of it. But yeah, sure, whatever you want to do.
Wow.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Larry, I got a question.
Uh,
Have you ever taken your cigar to the restroom? Because I sure know I haven't.
I refuse to answer that. Yeah,
Well-
a couple of things. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna send you a pic from the bathroom. That was a little scary.
Yeah,
And,
I was
dude,
like,
Tyson, 2 words that you should never put together again ever in your life.
yeah, hey, I'm in the bathroom. I'm gonna.
No. Cornhole and enthusiast. No, don't ever do that again, dude.
You'd be surprised, Larry. I'm going to tell you this right now. You'd be surprised. There's plenty of them out there. I mean, there's guys that have these national tournaments, and they're like, you wouldn't. I mean, they sold us on their own product. They're like, we always have to find ways to not break our ashtrays because they're glass ones. If you know, this is plain. Now they're just so excited for the Magnum.
They have this little stand they set their bags and stuff on, like right there in between
You're
them,
killing me.
and they
You're
just stick
You know
to the
what? You
magnet.
know what they used to call that when I was a kid? Horseshoes. God
Oh
damn
yeah,
it!
yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
remember, they do live in a state that's very rural.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got like
Only-
6 people around here.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
I can hear the banjo music from Deliverance in the
Right
background.
over there.
Hey, who's your friend in the background there, Cher?
Us G.
Oh, this is G. Sorry, she's just chilling.
Yeah.
She's the mascot.
Team mascot.
I like it.
Looks like she's having a great time.
Just, you know, living the best life.
I'm telling you.
Eat, sleep, treats, walks. That's it.
I want to come back as Ciccar's dog. That's
Yeah.
what I am right there.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
You
Yeah.
do, believe me. It's the most, I've never seen a more spoiled dog in my entire life.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, guys, hey, this is an amazing product. I want to apologize again for picking on you at PCA.
Oh, hell. It's all right.
This
Gotta keep it fun.
Yeah, but this thing is so cool, and I can't wait to use it in the morning at work. Because literally everything Tyson just said about, why you put down a cigar a third left, that happens to me probably twice a week, if not more. I'll get tied up on something, or same thing, I'm trying to cut it at 4:30 in the morning in a dark truck, and I take too much off of it, or something goes haywire, and then you're just pissed because you've ruined it. You took the time in your humidor to go, I want that one this morning, and then you jack it up, going into the process. So this thing is freaking cool.
Now,
and Larry, and also depending on the cigar, it'll even work on some box presses as well. So once the box press gets a little more heated up and more malleable, it'll fit perfect, and you can still work it. I mean, in the beginning, maybe not as much, but once it gets about halfway down and heated up, it still works.
All right.
Ha! Gotcha. You don't watch the show.
What he did? What?
Larry and box press don't go
Oh, he
together.
doesn't smoke a box press. Yeah.
Well, I've told people for years that I'm anti-box press, but then if we were to do a behind the music segment and go look in my humidor, I do have quite a few box press cigars, because there are some really phenomenal box press cigars out there right now. So, I'm one of the guys that and this would help with a box press cigar too. I'm one of the guys that I roll my cigar. While I'm talking, while I'm smoking. That's just what I do. And it irritates me, rolling a box press. This is how bad my ADD is. It irritates me if I'm rolling a box press, because it feels like I'm pushing a refrigerator box over and over again. It's like every time I roll it, like my head bounces. So and I look goofy enough as it is. I don't need to accentuate that fact with anything else. So, but yeah, I honestly, I'm so surprised by how well this thing works. Number one, I've had zero. The cigar has not moved one iota since I put it in there. The draw is amazing. Definitely improved the draw, and the draw was pretty damn good on this Christoph to begin with, but definitely improved the draw. and I can't wait to. I didn't pull the label off of it first, so part of the label is in the piece.
But you can
so-
still pull it out. You can pull it out and take the band off or whatever, and
Okay.
then put it back in.
Yeah, but
Just do it before it gets too small.
Yeah, before it gets too small. Yeah.
Right.
Now, I one question that I had thought to bring with you in manipulating mine for a little bit. What's the ring gauge roughly that it'll accept?
So this one is about down to a 40 up to a 54, 56.
Okay.
We do have an XL size that goes up to a 70 ring gauge. So we actually are waiting on more of those to come in and have them in a couple weeks. But yeah, as of right now, we have these ones fully in stock. We're waiting on the XLs, but we have some that go up to a 70. But we have, 85, 90% of the cigars out there, the range of them covered. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a 38.
Now, if you don't call that a Cigar Magnum, I've lost all respect for you.
That's actually a damn good name. You're hired.
Bingo.
Guys, on the flip side of the Magnum, how about the Mini? So because it's tapered on the inside, we can actually take little skinnier cigars. I'm talking just bigger than a cigarette. And actually, because you guys talked about how it stays in the Ciccar, right? Look, these are upside down.
Absolutely.
Right? They're in there. But we can actually take skinnier cigars that are less than a 40 gauge and put it down in there and taper. And as long as you have it a little bit wet on the end, you put it in there, give it a slight little tiny twist to lock it in, it'll do the same thing. It'll stay down in the tapered end. And actually, when we were at the PCA show, you made a great point earlier. The PCA show, if you've never been, is so large. There's so many booths. There's so many cigars to go out there and try. But the problem is that they're all full-length cigars. And that when you stop at each one of them, you're usually going to have a conversation. Like, how many cigars can you smoke a day if it's an hour smoke?
Yeah, your palate just
you're 8, 10 booths and you're done because you smoked 8, 10 cigars. Well, we had some guys that were next to us in the booth, just actually directly behind us. And forgive me for their name because I forgot, but they had about a 6-inch cigar, and what they found out, because somebody had ruined the end of the cigar, was that no problem, you could put it in the Cigar piece and you could still smoke it. They were cutting their cigars in half, almost as a sampler, to put inside the Cigar piece, so now they could get through more people trying their cigar and less time, because you can have a full conversation with somebody in 15, 20 minutes, all they need to know, and let them move on and get more people through your booth.
Yep.
And that's been a game changer too. Now I get it. You want to taste the full cigar all the way down through. Some cigars, I agree. But in a booth setting, in a show setting, where you can do that, cut your costs from the cigar side and get more people to try yours. It was fantastic, and they loved the idea of it.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's cool.
No, we're not. No.
Yeah.
So well, I think what we've come to here, Greg, is we have the Cigar, we have the Cigar Magnum, and then they're going to do the Cigar what? Little fella?
Cigar Mini.
Nah, mini,
Fun size.
Yeah.
Fun size. Oh, that's Camera Gorilla.
Fun
Fun size.
He's been
Oh my
quiet the
God.
whole show till now.
Well, I'm currently
Well,
smoking a Lancero, so I was wondering if there would be one for Lancero size.
That's the fun size.
Yeah.
But
it'll-
There you go.
A Lancero will fit in here because I have done that Leahona that Cher is smoking is a torpedo, and it does fit
Yeah.
in here because I've done that.
She's not smoking
Yeah.
a Leahona meatball.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, is that
It
you
is
said?
Leah Home. The number
Okay.
3.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, Leahona.
that's not what
You
you
know
said earlier, Greg.
Was it? Oh, well. It's
Greg,
on.
Greg screwed it up earlier.
It's
so-
on film.
Yeah, it's all right. I knew what you meant. The number 3, yeah, the Leahona. This is what it is. The other thing is cool, not that people, are like to share cigars necessarily, but a cool thing is, especially at a place like PCA or Ridgeback, a big trade show, like I could literally, if I'm like, hey Tyson, I want to try this Rocky Patel, we could take the cigars out of each cigar and swap.
That's right.
We could literally swap so we could try it, and it's, we're not swapping spit necessarily or anything else.
Gross.
Well, that
I yield that to you, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, whoa. Have you ever smoked
I mean,
somebody else's cigar?
I've tried it. I've tried a puff or two off of somebody's, but it's been no big deal.
Yeah, no.
Now we get it. We
No,
get
we
it.
get
It's
But in a
cliche.
COVID environment, it's a great idea.
yeah, It's in a COVID environment where someone just wants to try it. Like it's an option,
Not
right?
promoting it. It's not. The people don't
No,
share
for
your
sure.
cigar.
I
Your
get
cigar
it,
is
but-
your cigar. This is just a different way for people actually in the brick and mortar and cigar lounges who are trying to push more cigars out there. This is what it's allowing it to do. It's allowing more people to try more cigars because you're not putting your lips all over multiple cigars. You're keeping it on your own
100%.
piece.
No,
And the same with the tip. You can just throw this tip away every single time. If it's not your own, if you're a cigar lounge, you just put tips on all of them and just simply put a new tip on for somebody to try. And that's what we were doing at the PCA. Is somebody, I'd walk up and they'd have this much of their cigar left, and I'd say, hey, what are you going to do with the rest of that cigar? And the typical answer is like, well, I'm going to smoke it down to about the band. I'm going to throw it away. And I would take my cigar piece or a brand new one. I'd put a new silicone tip on. I'd put it in just like this. I say, now draw. Because once they put it in their hand and once they try it, you just watch the light go off. Just bing,
100%.
because it made the difference. This
Yeah,
is a product
100%.
that people have to put in their hands. They have to try to believe because they're going to take your word for it. You guys are absolute monsters in this space because you're going to tell exactly how it is, and people listen to what you say. So that's a good thing. So people are going to take your word for it, but you're going to have skeptics still that go, yeah, right. There's no way. And then when they do, they're like, well, Greg and Larry weren't bullshitting us at all.
100%. So, hey, guys, question. What if somebody goes to Ciccar.com right now, Ciccarlife.com, sorry, I screwed that up. What's this retail for right now?
Retails for $150.
The whole
Okay.
kit, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That was not what I was expecting. I was expecting quite a bit more than that, honestly.
Really? Okay, great. Well, sometimes we've had a couple people, not that many, give us a little pushback on price. But then my next question is always, how much is the lighter you got in your pocket? How much of that color you're carrying? Everything else that you're spending, everything else that you're carrying around to smoke some really good cigars and enhance that experience. Like, how much are all those things? You're already carrying your humidor and your cigars and your lighters and your cutters and your everything else, right?
Well, and that's a great point because anybody that's serious about this as a hobby, a pastime, whatever you want to call it, number one, I am fundamentally against being the low cost provider for any goods or service. Fundamentally against that business model. I understand that there are many places out there that are super successful with that business model. I don't care. It's not my business model. I don't want to be the highest priced in the industry, but I sure as hell don't want to be the lowest price.
Right.
And
exactly.
the great thing about a product like this is if the first club out of their bag is price, they're not your customer.
Agreed.
And you
That's
just go, you just write next, 150. Who wants to buy 6? That's, I mean, and because honestly, this thing sells itself. Just like you said, if you put it in somebody's hand, if they're even anything above an occasional cigar smoker, I mean, I can think of 3 guys right now that we can show this to, and they're just going to pull out a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was in here Thursday night, John Jennings, a realtor.
He's the fellow that we met on that one T with the houses on both sides. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I got a customer of mine. Probably, I would say more than a casual cigar smoker. This is something that'll be right up his alley. Frank too.
Yeah.
And especially with a magnetic ring. And then he can stick it to his golf cart or the side of his wife's car, or whatever he wants to do.
Well, what we'll have to do is, because this will come up next September, Cher, we'll get a hold of you to send us some business cards. Because Larry, I do a charity golf tournament, or Larry does a charity golf tournament. I go with him and ride around and smoke and BS.
Well,
they're going to see us.
What?
What's that?
You'll come play?
Yeah, I'll come play. Hell yeah!
You ain't go. You don't act like she's gonna go by herself.
What kind of charity? What's the benefit for? Because also this guy does benefit charity auctions. He's an auctioneer. He raises money for charities all over the country all the time. So there could be a double down for us there.
So this year it was Shriners. Last year it was Children's Miracle Network.
We've been doing Shriners for 62 years. My grandpa started. We've
I
been
was
doing
gonna say,
Shriners
man,
for
you look damn good for an 84-year-old.
family. Grandpa started 65 years ago, so we've been doing the Shriners for a long time. One of the hundreds that we do. But yeah,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. The one that we do every year is sponsored by a realtor customer of mine. And he does it. God, I'm trying to think. He's probably 15 years now. That they do this tournament. But yeah, we'll reach out to you guys. Definitely have you come down and play for 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I will let Frank. Now, do you have a foursome or you just be the two of you?
hey, listen, we can bring four.
We can bring four.
We can bring two. Put us on a team. It don't matter.
All right. Well, yeah. I'll connect with you guys and get you Frank's information. We'll figure out the date for next year. 100%, man. We'll have you down here.
That'd be fun.
I will not be
It's so
playing
fun.
golf with you because golf is just men in ugly pants walking. Greg and I ride around in a golf cart, smoke cigars,
And hand out cigars.
handouts. That's our deal for my business. Is my insurance guy is fundamentally against handing out alcohol. He doesn't like me doing that. So God, probably 16, 17 years ago, I switched over to being the cigar guy at the golf events that I sponsor. So
Probably one of the most popular guys out there.
oh yeah, we got a pretty good niche crowd, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
Especially now this year when they see us with this. Magnetize it to the cart when we're talking to them.
no doubt, man. That's gonna be a game changer. I can't wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
cool.
really does make a difference. We just played in the charity golf tournament a couple of weeks ago,
2 weeks.
and 2 weeks ago, and the little tee box things were metal as well. So I just walked up, stuck it right up there on the tee box thing while I took my shot, and then picked it up and cruised off as well. So it makes it pretty simple, and it's a nice, convenient way to be hands free and not forget your cigar or your buddy step on it or anything else. The grass is wet, and then your cigar is wet because you threw it down. I mean, all the things that happen.
That's awesome, man.
That's great. And when I find myself up that way, I'll reach out to you and we'll have to get together.
Oh,
'Cause I have a buddy that lives in Parma, so my typical hangout is the vault.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you don't mind trading with the enemy a couple times, we got to hang
No,
out.
There's
Vault's
no
great.
enemy.
There's no
That's
enemy.
just right there in Meridian. This is all metropolis. I mean, it's all connected together. Now Parma, though, you're talking about a place where I grew up. Parma, population of like 1,200. Okay.
Yeah.
That's hilarious though. I grew up playing those guys in high school and all the sports. So I grew up in a small town, just similar to Parma.
Yeah, he moved up there a year ago, and I've had so much fun, going up there and meeting all the people up there because it's just a different world. They're friendly, they're more polite, they're more outgoing, and they don't have the stuck-up California mentality.
Yeah, they're pretty laid back. It's a little country out here.
Mhm.
I missed. Greg asked you before we got on the air, so to speak. You guys have a lounge? I didn't hear that part of it. Where's your lounges?
Well, technically, we call home base Sturman's. He's got a one downtown, and then got more of a lounge setting wine bar in Garden City, and it is just phenomenal because there's a lot of
setup.
outdoor concerts there. A beautiful venue. Ryan's been in the game a very long time. He's very, very, very intelligent when it comes to cigars, and he's a guy I personally have learned a lot from. But the space is amazing. It's a great place to come and welcome all of our clients that come into town. That's the place we go first. And again, nothing against the vault at all. That's where we would call home base. But hey, we want to venture off over to Meridian. This is a 15-minute little jaunt, not a problem.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that is Stearman's, by the way, one in downtown Boise and Garden City.
Yeah.
Where's now from Boise? Where's Garden City?
I have the foggiest idea.
12 minutes.
A rock throw. Like I said, it's all together.
12 minutes. I'm not far off.
Boise, Eagle, Meridian,
It's all one.
CUNA. It's all as one.
Okay.
Let me put it to you this way. I know how to get to two places in Idaho. One of them's Tommy's house. The other's the vault. I don't know where anything else is.
Well, it's pretty simple. You
That's
hop
all
on the
you need to
freeway, get
know.
off the exit. Hop on the freeway, get off the exit. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Coming from California, I lived in Dallas, Fort Worth for 17 years. So I moved from the big city and moving back here. I was born and raised here. And moving back to Idaho, it's so funny because the locals are like, "Oh, downtown, oh, that's so far." I'm like, 12 minutes. Like what? Like to leave my house in Texas, I'm committed to a minimum of 30 no matter where I'm going. And that's just like grocery store, anything, you know? And so it's just
they act
funny
like they got to saddle up an extra horse, huh?
Oh, you gotta pack up the whole car, air up the tires because you're going so far, you know, it's just like a road. So
That's amazing.
it is pretty funny. But you know, the cool thing about the sermons that they started Wednesdays as like their ladies' night because they do wine and stuff, and they have live music 3 days a week. But the cool thing that I've noticed that I love to see is all the Sisters of the Leaf that are growing. That community is growing so much. And not only on Wednesday nights is it full ladies, but the last time I was in there, 3 days ago to get, there was more females in there smoking cigars than there were males at that time, which is super cool to see in this industry as it's growing and the ladies getting back in the game. Not that they've been out of it, but I feel like the females in this industry are growing in their appreciation for cigars, and there's a whole community of it that I love being a part of.
You know, we could spend probably a whole podcast episode talking about that.
I think we should do that. I think a future show, get a hold of a bunch of ladies and have them join us.
Female smokers, because if there's one thing I think the cigar industry has been super slow to respond to is the number of women that smoke. And that's not putting the industry down by any means.
No,
I don't think the cigar industry has ever discouraged women from smoking, but I think they were a little slow on the uptake to realize how big a segment of their population that it could be if they would have just directed a little bit of marketing and advertising, you know, just a little bit, not a whole bunch, but something. And yeah, I mean, you go to something like PCA or go to Rocky Mountain or the Big Smoke. It is leaps and bounds more female cigar smokers than even 2 or 3 years ago. And finally, the industry is starting, you know, to marginally recognize it. And it's like, God, man, can you guys maybe just come into the 21st century a little bit and realize that women are gonna do this? They want to, you know, wives want to be able to smoke with their husbands. They want to find something.
Huge market, you know, and you know, girls. Like females, like not only do they appreciate the palate and the good taste and pairing it with good wine and whiskey and everything else, but I've met some of the coolest girls down there at ladies' night or wherever, I'm smoking cigars with them. Just like anything else, it's an experience, right? And it's a connector. Cigars are like a connector, right? You sit there and you meet people, it'll start a conversation with someone that you would have maybe never talked to otherwise, that you met at the cigar lounge. And you get the opportunity to meet some really cool people through that. And I think that they are underestimated in this industry as far as the amount of females that appreciate the smoke, like to smoke and a good leaf and all the things, you know, and they want to be right there with you.
Yeah. And it's in the traveling around that we've done, it's interesting to me to be in a lounge out of your area. You know, you sit down, you know, maybe you're on vacation, maybe you're out for work or whatever. It's really apparent really quickly which shops, which lounges are, this is going to be a crappy term, female friendly.
That's 100% true. Because yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I visit a lot of lounges, like when I'm traveling international, just all over the U.S., right? And now, at this point especially, I try to visit as many lounges as I can. And you do go in to some, I will say, as a female, and it's kind of like you walk in, what are you doing in here? Almost is the feeling that you get, right? And it's like, no, I'm here for the same reason you are. I appreciate this good environment and XYZ, but it's been a heavily dominated, you know, male industry for so long. That there are still lounges out there like that, but I think that those are coming around. I think that's changing slowly, you know?
Yeah, it was funny. We were in a shop. My wife and I were on, you know, took a weekend and we're down at the coast and just kind of looking around. Weren't even sitting in a line, just buying a couple cigars, kind of looking around the shop. Lady came in, probably early 40s, and asked the gentleman behind the counter if he had a particular line of cigars. Yes, ma'am, I do. And if you go right in there, just give me just a second, ring these people up, and I'll come in and show you what we have. And she went in and looked around, and he went in and helped her. She came back out. She had 5 boxes of cigars. That she, that could have very easily gone horribly wrong, because I know all of us have seen it happen, where a lady will walk in and basically get the pat on the head. Are you here to buy something for your gift for your husband? It's like,
always,
it's like, dude, really?
Happens
Did you just say that? It's like,
I think that their education, the education of females in the cigar industry is underestimated, right? The knowledge of cigars and, the palettes and things like that, because I will say that I've experienced where they almost like test you to see if you actually smoke a cigar, almost. Like it's like, do I need to pass this quiz to smoke a cigar? I'm trying to learn.
You gotta know the passwords.
Yeah.
Well, and that cracks me up because 99 out of 100 cigar guys that would do that to a woman would sure as hell not do that to me. Oh, yeah, you new to this? Hey, shut up, jackass. Go sit down.
Exactly.
And it's funny you said, because I've seen that happen probably 10 times. Yeah. And it's some of the most ridiculous questions are asked. Well, we don't have any flavored cigars here. I will never forget that.
That's one that I get the most. Like, what are you looking for? It's almost, yeah. You're looking for like a fruity cigar. I'm like, no, like I'm not looking for a Swisher Sweet. That's not why I'm here. You know what I mean?
Great flavors.
Gas station you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I remember I did that with a friend of mine. She goes, I want to try cigars. I said, okay, well, we're doing a dice night playing a game, and she comes over with her then boyfriend, now husband, and he goes into my humidor and picks out something great. And I had asked her, I said, what would you like? Right. And so she says, well, I'd like to try something on the sweeter side. I said, okay, flavored or non-flavored? And she goes, well, flavored. She cuts it, she lights it, gets 3 puffs into it, and she goes, would you be offended if I asked you for something different? This is terrible. And I'm like, not at all. What can I get you? She goes, what was your plan B? So I go into my humidor, get something out of my humidor, and handed her a beautiful, an Oliva V Maduro. And she smoked the whole thing through, and she goes, can I have another one? I'm like, yes, ma'am, you can. Let's go.
Yeah, I love it.
That's the funny thing, is people get so pigeonholed into, what they think is the norm, and watching somebody come in. Oh, we don't have a very big line of flavored cigars, but what we have is over here. And the lady's like, yeah, that's not what I was looking for, dude.
Yeah.
You have chisels, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Just like anything else. I mean, it's the same thing with Ciccar, right? There's a learning curve, adaptability, acceptability to trying new things and opening up your mind, just like with technology and everything else in this world that we're living in now, that's continuously evolving and changing, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, man, just one more time. Guys, this thing is freaking awesome. Anybody out there listening to us, if you've got the facial hair feature, this is definitely a game changer for that. No more toothpick, no more pick, no more, roach clip fingers trying to figure out how to keep from getting singeing the edge of your mustache or your beard or whatever. Yeah, I mean, this could be a go-to for me every morning.
Yeah. I use it most of the time now.
So.
And Cher, we don't want him to look like a what?
A fairy. Don't be looking like a fucking fairy.
I hear, and it was Greg that did it. And can you believe that? I thought we were going to get the whole podcast.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, let me confess something. Okay,
all right,
Scott,
here we go.
And I'm gonna throw Mr. Robinson under the bus because he's not here to defend himself.
Because he's not here.
Scott and I had every intention of emailing you ahead of time and going, hey, do us a favor. How many times can you throw the word fairy into the podcast? And we were going to have Anthony put a counter in the corner. but we decided against that. So
Yo, I would have hit a high mark. I could have.
Oh man.
Next time.
There we go. Well, what do we got, man? Where are we at?
I'm good. I don't have anything more to go. What do you guys got? Anything left?
I mean, just if you're watching where you can see this on the video stream, I realize a lot of people are listening via all the places that you're at. But look at Cher Cigar. It's all the way down,
And I can still keep smoke. I mean,
it's
Yeah,
ashing perfectly.
That's perfect.
And she's gonna smoke. She'll be able to smoke the entire thing. We're gonna still finish these out. Even after this is done. Mine was a longer cigar start. I've already peeled one band. I'm getting ready to go to the last band. And again, for me, the flavor's starting to really pick up here at the tail end of this cigar. It's burning perfectly. You talked about poker night. We go back to the stand. The stand, which we got to go find it, Larry. You got to go find where that sits. This will be the game changer for you on that big chair. Because just be able to set that in there, even with the magnet ring on. You don't need the magnet ring on there for this, but just to set it in there, to have it be directly straight up and down. So it's not sitting in an ashtray where it could potentially canoe, because you get on a conversation where you don't grab the cigar for 5 minutes and it starts burning the one side. This is going to keep that even burn most of the way, all the way down. I mean, that's just what it does.
And it really helps if you're playing poker, which you guys play cards and Tyson things. We're doing more than golfing when we come down.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna get a poker game going. We're playing some golf. We're gonna do all the damn things. But this actually is convenient because when we play poker and we give everybody a stand, and so instead of the smoke being in the split ashtray going all over, it literally just starts rising, right? It goes straight up from your cigar. So it's not necessarily blowing in everybody's face or anything else. So it's nice too.
That's awesome.
You can put your cards right under the end of there, it almost works as a little card holder under there.
And it's actually kind of nice because as an individual that takes my rifle for a walk in the woods every fall, the constant is what the hell to do with a cigar. And I'm going to do an interesting test next weekend when we go deer hunting. I'm going to put the magnet on it. I'm going to magnetize it, set it onto the barrel. I'm going to pull a trigger and see if that thing will stay on there through
It will.
It will. We had someone do it. We have a picture of it. They sent it to us.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And we drive golf carts like we're in the Baja 500. I mean, if you want to test it, jump it, flip it, roll it, it will stay. So please go give it the shake test, old earthquake test.
I mean, we had to beta test these things, to make sure that we weren't just putting out some weak magnet. So we had to up our magnet game.
Oh, you're not just going to go with fat guy approved, huh? All
right, Anthony.
We
wait a minute before you play us out, guys. Give me the website one more time, please.
Cicarlife.com.
Cicarlife.com.
Yep, you can also find us on Instagram, Ciccar Life. We love sharing. In fact, we're gonna post that we were on the podcast with you guys today. We appreciate everything. You guys are awesome. This was fun.
And then mine's Ciccar Life Share.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so. And guys, make sure anytime you guys want to join us, you want to schedule another interview, just email us and say, hey, what slots you got open? We'd love to have you come on as many times as you'd like.
Or if
absolutely.
if you're doing an event somewhere, you got something going, you want us to plug, same thing, just hit us up, man.
Likewise.
We'll 100%.
We're happy to join you guys in events and get out there and get it in people's hands, because that's what this is about. So,
and when you find yourself out here, come visit us, our home
definitely
lounge.
And we're rolling out we can't talk about it yet, some pretty cool new things that we're pretty excited about. Can't say it yet, but we will let you guys know as soon as we're able to announce it, because I think you guys will really like it, and we can come on and talk about that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds
100%. Great. You guys got an open invitation. Whatever you're coming out with new, reach out to us and we'll sit down and talk to you about it. 100%.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys so much, and we're send our love. Scott not being able to be here. Hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. And
well,
yeah.
Well,
but thank you.
I think he's milking it a little bit.
So do I, especially with what I've been delivering to his house for groceries.
Tough love.
Let's just throw his ass under the bus. Why not? I get a text message from him a couple days ago. Can you bring me a gallon of orange sherbet and a bottle of coconut rum? And I'm like, sure, no problem. The next day, it's a gallon of vanilla ice cream and a giant bottle of of whipping cream. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You're sick.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. Bring me a bottle of whiskey, some cigars, some ice cream. I mean, now he's milking it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you put that bus in reverse and just went boom, boom, boom.
Wow. Yeah, he's used to it.
Yep, no problem.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you again so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. You guys have a good day.
You too.
Yeah.
Well,
bye.
my cigar is almost down to the nub, but guess what? I'm going to smoke the whole thing with this new little Ciccar device. It's fantastic. My drink is empty, so on behalf of Tyson and Cher, we thank you for coming on the podcast. On behalf of Camera Gorilla, Larry, and myself, and COVID Carl at home, thank you for listening. Want to remind you, check us out on LoomisCigarCartel.com and Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We got them all. As Scott would say, and I forgot what Scott says. So
Nice.
anyway, y'all have a great night, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.
All right. Bye.